Fungus Jake here, continuing my week-long Busby brand spotlight special here. I am actually holding the Busby Tyrant. This is not a current blaster. It unfortunately has been discontinued. But why am I reviewing it? Because you can find these secondhand, or still some people do have them for sale online, new in the box. And this thing is worthy of its own review because I'm just going to spoil the review right now. This is the best Mega Blaster that was ever made if you're looking for something that's primary worthy. And by primary worthy, if you're not familiar with that term, it's what you could use as your one and only blaster. That if you were to go have a Nerf war in the neighborhood, or if you were going to go to a Nerf arena, or if you actually do go to Nerf tournaments, this thing is what you would carry as your go-to. You might have a pistol as a backup, or something else as a secondary that you put over your back, just in case something goes wrong or jams or whatnot. But you have a primary that is your go-to, tried and trusted blaster that you would use. This thing is the best choice that has ever been made for the mega sized darts. Busby calls their megas the Air Max line, and they did discontinue it a couple years ago due to low sales. But that doesn't take away from the blaster itself. This thing has a monstrous plunger tube, huge amount of power, very simple and easy to use. If you've ever picked up a spring-powered Nerf blaster, actual Nerf brand, a lot of them are top prime. So is this. It actually has a mechanism inside, much like a retaliator. And I'll put you over the internals because I actually tore my second one down. I have two of them, and I wanted to use this chance to review it. And instead of showing a firing demonstration, I'm going to show you the internals. Because, well, I can tell you, just point blank, this is one of the highest performing Mega Blasters from any brand. And if you decide to pick one up, you can always find that out for yourself. But, top prime, magazine fed. You can buy spare magazines, as I have. I have actually about 5 of these in total, because you can contact Busby, and they will email you a PDF file with an order form on it. And you print out your order form, fill it out with what you want, send them a check. The prices that they show you include shipping, so it's very, very hassle-free. Send them a check for what you want, and within about 2 weeks or so, you'll get your products back. And that's nice, because I have a Centurion. The only way I can get magazines for that is if I buy used ones on eBay, which I have. But you can buy brand new Busby Mega magazines, or Busby Destiny clips, or anything else that they have on their order form. You can order it, and they'll send it to you, which is fantastic. Because Centurion owners, for years they couldn't find any. You literally had to buy a second Centurion to just simply get a magazine. But not the problem here, which is a huge advantage, and one of the reasons why I said it's one of the best, it really is the best, mega size primary. Now, the other reasons are, of course, performance and ease of use. It performs smoothly. There's no harshness to the mechanism. The top prime is smooth. The trigger pull is smooth. The ergonomics are very nice. This is a big grip. Has a comfortable foregrip. The priming handle is big, easy to grip, and despite the power, the prime weight is actually really light. This thing is easily used by children. I know, because I've let mine use both of them, and they can use it fairly easy. Has a sling point at the back, 2 at the front, 1 on either side of the built-in sight, and that's really all there is to go over. It's a simple blaster on the outside, just packs a lot of performance. So I'll put you over the internals here. In place of the chronograph or range test that I would normally do with a blaster review, I wanted to do something that might be a little more useful. Not a whole lot of videos out there on the internals of the Tyrant, so I wanted to provide at least a glimpse of inside of it and what you could expect if you were to take one apart, and how to remove the locks. So first things first, the locks have a screw here and one back here. I actually have them over here behind the pistol grip, right there. There's 2 of them, and that's all you do. Take the 2 out, and Busby actually makes their lock systems very nice. It's a self-contained unit. This is both the trigger lock, see this catches the trigger, and it's also the priming lock there and there. that's all there is to it. So take this off, set it aside, save it for later in case you, for some reason, want to put it back in. Which, the only reason I can think of is if you wanted to hand it off to a child and you didn't want them to get their hands in somewhere. But unlike some of the other current Busby blasters, which use a different catch mechanism back here, our current Busby blasters like the Interceptor, the Thermal Hunter, the Tactical Storm, they use a sliding catch that catches the end of the plunger rod. Well, this doesn't. It uses a retaliator style catch. Right here's your catch. It works much like a retaliator catch. It's not much different actually. And if you were to take a look at it, pull the trigger out. I'll set this aside. If you were to take a look at it, the spring reminds me a lot of the Magnus spring. It's a little shorter, but it's about the exact same diameter as a Magnus spring, because I've modified a couple of Magnus pistols before. And we're going to go ahead and keep disassembling this. Now, this is your whole unit. This is, got your breech here. The plunger head is actually a floating design located inside the plunger tube there, as you can see the orange. And the air restrictor is down inside of your breech. You have to be very careful if you're going to remove that. Would be easy to do. Make sure you could drill out with a smaller drill bit than this, or even you could even go slightly larger to open up the airways a little bit. Drill it out through there, and then pull the remnants out, or just leave it alone. But this is the catch mechanism right here, which is very neat. The catch mechanism on this actually catches on the plunger head that's floating. When you push the breech, it pushes the plunger head back here, and then that snags it with the catch. But easy to remove as well. You could upgrade the O-ring, or if you wanted to, if you know somebody who could CNC, you could actually make an alloy plunger head. Just a thought. But this is the internals of the Busby Tyrant. If you go into tearing yours down and you need some help in figuring out where does this go, or what's this thing, what did I do wrong, you can always reference this video if you need. Because as you can see, it's actually a very simple design. Goes together well. I'm going to reassemble it here right in front of you so you can see how to do it. Not very complicated. And you see I have completely disassembled it and then reassembled it. Put your shell back together, tighten everything down, put your priming handle back on, and you're good to go. Hopefully this is helpful, but we're going to go ahead and get back to the review. Now that you got to see inside of it and see what makes the Tyrant kind of work, one thing I would say is there's no reason not to get one. Try to find one if you can secondhand. I only paid about $5 for my second one, and that's a steal. You can get a second one or a third one, and if you have a few of these, I'd hang on to them, paint them up different colors. But like me, I'm actually going to modify the second one, and I'm going to keep my original stock. I bought this brand new before they went out of stock completely on Amazon, and it's one of those blasters that I think you just gotta own. It really is the most worthy of being used as a primary for the Megas. Mastodon is a little bit too bulky, and with big drum you have to reload it. This is simple. It's a overgrown Retaliator that doesn't have any of the flaws of the Retaliator and has lots of power. And if you're going to compare it to the Twin Shock or the Roto Fury, I own a couple of the Roto Furies. I have never picked up the Twin Shock yet, but I own 2 Roto Furies, and directly comparing them to this, I would always pick this over them. The only thing that they have in that this doesn't would be if you prefer the front pump grip and slam fire. This has more power, this has a smoother action, and magazines. This has more shots per magazine, so even if you only had one magazine, you have 12 shots compared to 10. But as soon as you grab other magazines, somebody with a Twin Shock or Rotofury has to go down and reload it by putting one dart in at a time. Well, you just change the magazines and you're up and running again. So for all those reasons, and the fact that it is easy to work on, it is easy to modify, there's very little to ever go wrong with these, I call this the best Mega Blaster that's ever been built. And I'm not saying that just to say it. I own every single Mega Blaster outside of the Twin Shock, and this is definitely my go-to out of all of them. Now the most fun one is still the Nerf one. That'd be the Mastodon. That thing is just fun. It's not practical, but it's fun. But as far as best, there you go. This is my review of the Busby Tyrant, and I thank you for watching.